Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, we shall see how to divide decimal numbers. So let us take an example here. In this example, we want to divide, let's write this down, divide 27.08 and then we want to divide 0.4 like that. So to solve this problem, we will follow this following steps. Step number 1, we're going to write it out as follows: 27.08 divided by 0.4. So in here we're going to multiply the 0.4 by 10, so we can move the decimal place one place to the right and make it a whole number, and accordingly we're going to multiply 27.08 by 10, so we can move the decimal place to the right. And when we do that, this is how it's going to look now: 4 divided by, or 27.08 divided by 4, so 270.8. that is how it's going to look like. Then step 2, we're going to perform the division as if we are performing division of whole numbers. So 270.8 divided by 4, and we're going to place the decimal place right above the decimal place for 270.8 like that. Now we perform the division. So we recall our 4 times table. 4 times what number is equal to or less than 27? 4 times 6 is 24. So when we subtract, 7 minus 4 is 3. We borrow the 0. 4 times what number is equal to or less than 30? 4 times 7 is 28, and 30 minus 28 is 2, and we borrow the 8, and therefore 4 times what number is equal to or less than 28? 4 times 7 is 28. Therefore, when we subtract 28 from 28, the remainder here is going to be equal to 0. Therefore, as we see that when we divide 27.08 by 0.4, the value what we get is equal to 67.7. That is our answer. This is where we want to leave it. This is how we perform division of decimal numbers. Let's look at another example. Let's try to divide another number. Let's say we want to divide 6.824, and we divide by 0.053. Okay, so that is what we have. Now let us follow these steps to find the solution. Step number 1, we have 6.824 divided by 0.053. So now we want to make this 0.053 as a whole number, and therefore we're going to multiply that by 1, 2, 3. Multiply that by, we're going to multiply this by, we moved it 3 places, so we're going to multiply that by 1000. So when we multiply 0.053 by 1000, we're going to get it as a whole number as 53. When we multiply, and we're going to move and we're going to multiply 6.824 also by 1000, and therefore we're going to move this. We're going to move the decimal place 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3 places to the right, and therefore this becomes 6824.0. So therefore we have we can write this one now as 6824.0 divided by 53 like that. Okay. Okay, now we are ready to perform the division. So in step 2, we're going to perform the division, and this is how it's going to look like. 6824.0 divided by 53. So we will recall, or we will recall the 53 times table, and then we will be able to do the long division as we do the long division for whole numbers. 53 times what number? We'll place the decimal place right above this, so that's where the decimal point is going to be. 53 times what number is equal to or less than 68? 53 times 1 is 53, so we write that. So 68 minus 53 is going to be equal to 15. So 15 is less than 53, so we borrow the 2. So we repeat the process. 53 times what number is equal to or less than 152? 53 times 2 is 106 when we subtract. When we subtract 106 from 152, we are left with 46. We're left with okay, so now we borrow the 4, so this becomes 4, 6, 4, and then we recall our 53 times table. 53 times 8 is going to be equal to 424, and when we subtract 424 from 464, the remainder is what we are left with is 40, and we're going to borrow the 0 from here. Therefore now we have 400. 53 times what number is equal to or less than 400? That is going to be 7. 53 times 7 is going to be equal to 371. When we subtract that, we are left with a value of 29, and therefore I'm going to let me put it that way. So we borrow this 0 from here, so 290, and therefore 53 times what number is equal to or less than 290? 53 times 5 will be equal to 265, and it goes on. 290 minus 265 is going to be equal to 225, and then we can keep going. And therefore we can now come back and then state this one as 6.824 divided by 0.053 is going to be equal to approximately 128.75. So that is how we perform the division of decimal numbers. In my next presentation, we shall see how to perform division by tens or power of tens.